Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's Allison Turner, a founder of Batcat Media Group, home of Dream Plan Start Grow. Today I had an interesting situation that happened, a couple of interesting situations, and I got really frustrated, angry. This happened this morning. So I value my time immensely. I had signed up to go to a workshop on new things in employment law, specifically regarding the state of Florida. So I thought it would be interesting. I thought it was worth my time to go. So before I even leave my house, we had someone staying in our house, and that person was supposed to leave by a certain time before I left. And needless to say, she wasn't up. Nothing happened. I didn't feel like I should be the alarm clock. That's a whole different story, but that kind of started my day off. Then I got in my car. That situation was gone. I got in my car. I am driving to West Palm Beach. It's about 15 miles, 16 miles away, and it's rush hour, my favorite time to be on I-95. And we hit traffic, of course. So I'm probably a little more than halfway up, but it's taking a lot longer. So in really good traffic, it takes about 21 minutes. But in not so good traffic, it was like double the time, I think. 35-ish, 40 minutes. So I shouldn't say I'm almost there, but I'm further up, and I get a phone call from Jack, who was filming this event. So apparently he had forgotten, he had one battery, which was not fully charged for his camera, and needed another battery. He had asked, "Are you near the studio?" I said, "No, I'm not. I've already passed it. The traffic's really heavy." And I chose not to go back to the studio because I really wanted to hear this. I had paid for this event. So I kept driving. I got up there and I said, "Well, you can go back and just show me what how to start the camera." Well, it turns out he had the really complicated camera with him, the cinematic camera, which cost a fair amount of money. And I was like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll just drive back." So needless to say, I got even more frustrated by the whole situation because I knew I was going to miss like half this workshop. But on my way back to Delray Beach, which took a little bit less time, I started thinking because I was frustrated, I was angry, it was a situation out of my control completely, and I'm driving on I-95 in traffic. That's never a good combination. You hear about road rage all the time down here, and I am not that person, but I don't want to be that person either. So I started thinking, you know what? I'm really grateful to be in Florida. It's gorgeous weather out here today. We're having unseasonably warm weather. I had my sunroof open, so some sun was coming in. I started really appreciating what was going on around me. So really staying in the present moment. I couldn't control the situation that had just happened, but really staying in the present moment and appreciating my health and being alive and the opportunity to be able to drive back and forth. There's so many people that either don't have cars in this country or other countries, aren't fortunate enough or they can't afford the gas to drive back and forth. So I'm in a great situation. And so I started thinking about that and I started laughing about the situation. That's how quickly things changed for me. I literally was thinking about it. I'm like, who forgets the batteries for a camera? He thought they were always in this one bag that he had brought, but apparently they aren't always in that bag. So I'm thinking to myself, as I'm making this whole joke in my head about the situation, and I'm starting to laugh. I'm laughing at stuff that's going on the road in front of me, people cutting me off. I'm just laughing because literally it was just funny to me. So I shifted my energy very quickly just from being grateful for what was going on around me. So I was being grateful for the sun, being in Florida, my health, having the opportunity to drive up to West Palm Beach to go to this seminar, to drive back, to be able to afford the car I'm in, to be able to afford the gas I have for the car. All those things, I started shifting all my energy from that negative to positive just by being grateful and naming gratitudes in my head. And then again, the situation became completely humorous to me because people continued to try and cut me off in front of me on 95. And I was just laughing. Every time something would happen, I would laugh. And I would think about the situation that had happened this morning, and I would just laugh. it just became humorous because it was one of those things. I was like, I should just go do some stand up because it was so funny to me in that moment that I just started laughing. So I got back to my office, grabbed the batteries that he needed and the cord he needed, turned around, drove back to West Palm Beach. Luckily, the traffic was a little lighter at that point, and got him the stuff. And of course, they were on break, which was humorous as well because I drove all the way up there. And so I got to hear the speaker for about 45 minutes of the 2-hour workshop. But luckily, I know the person that filmed it, so I can watch the video of the first hour that I missed. But that's one of the ways to shift from that negative to a positive. You know, negative, like you're angry, something happens. Maybe it's out of your control. This was completely out of my control. So I could have chosen to stay there and figure out this camera, which was complicated, and then have to put a microphone on somebody. Or I could choose to go back to the studio here in Delray and pick up the stuff and go back up there, which is what I chose. That was my choice. And, but it's really our choice on how we react to a situation. And that's the biggest point I want to make today is it's your choice. So when those situations come up, yeah, I was very angry at the time and I fired off about it. But then once I drove back to Delray to pick up this stuff, I just started finding the gratitude in my life and the situation. You know, I got the opportunity to be out instead of being stuck in my office or stuck in a hotel listening to the seminar. I got to be opportunity to have my sunroof open, drive, you know, and even the people cutting me off on 95 it was humorous to me. So I think that's really, you know, we have the choice to take a negative situation and make it a positive one. And that's my biggest message today is you have that choice. It's all up to you how you treat a situation because ultimately it is what it is. Once it happens, once a negative thing happens to you, it is what it is. It may not be good. It may not be, you know, whatever. Maybe it's out of your control like this was for me. But we have the choice to turn that around and make it positive and then be able to go on about our day in a positive manner instead of being pissed off the whole day or negative the whole day. Change the attitude, change the way you think it, reframe it, and go about your day and make a difference a different way. So I hope you have a great Friday. I hope your Friday's been fabulous. TGIF. Have a great weekend. Looking forward to talking to you again tomorrow.